Hi, I'm Kay with OK Quilting, and I have something really exciting to talk to you about tonight, and something that's kind of tender to my heart, and that is the emergency quilt. So behind me, you'll see a very simple quilt. Um, it's made out of 10-inch squares, very simply quilted. This is actually beautifully quilted with the malachite pattern from Urban Elements, but we'll get to all that. But I wanted to tell you that sometimes we have emergencies in our lives and we need to come up with a quilt quickly. And we don't have time to make a fancy pieced quilt. And the recipient won't really care about that. But you need to give them love and warmth in a quilt. And it needs to go together quickly and be simple and not a lot of thought. So this is the perfect quilt. And yeah, you probably don't need a pattern to put together something like this. But what I've put together is something that has measurements for you, and it has yardages for several different sizes, so it just makes it easy. This would be a great thing. You can print it off. It's free, and just put it in a little page protector and keep it close so that when something happens and you need to make something quickly, you have it. What are some of the emergencies? So sometimes, it might be a situation where there's a divorce, or where a child gets taken into custody, or where maybe somebody's lost a spouse, and could be anything like that. I know that when the Ukraine war started, a lot of people were making quilts, and I know we have lots of refugee situations all the time. So if you want to make something that's simple, this is a great quilt. So I'm giving you a free pattern because you know what? Quilters are very generous, and it's not cheap to make a quilt. And a lot of people don't even understand what they're receiving when they receive a quilt. But so I'm giving you a free pattern, and then this is the perfect quilt to use your stash. All these fabrics were in my inventory. This is flannel. You could just as easily use quilting cotton. I do say if you use flannel that you should probably wash it first, because flannel has such a high shrinkage rate. So I did wash it. I took it out as quickly as when the dryer stopped. I had it out and I didn't have to iron it or anything. It looked great, and I was able to move forward. So this is a great quilt to use your stash or your inventory. I prefer inventory. Sounds classier, don't you think? And it really is suitable for any fabric. You can use a large print fabric, and it doesn't have to be a pattern like this. So my pattern setup, it tells you how to do this kind of 3-color look, but you can just have this be random. Use what you have. Okay, that's part of the allure of this, is that you can really get away with using anything. And I'm sure that we all have at least one pack of 10-inch squares somewhere in our inventory that we were in a quilt store and we were beguiled by those 10-inch squares. They're so fun. So this is a great project. Very easy to make. This is a great quilt for beginners, right? Simple cuts. So if you're teaching someone how to quilt, maybe this is a great place to start. It gives them a chance to start reading a pattern and understand how it works. Simple cuts. And then here's what I suggest is when you make the top row, that you press all the seams one direction. And then in the second row, you press all the seams in the other direction. And then when you put those 2 rows together, those seams will nest right up against each other. And you will get really nice corners. I mean, I did not work hard at this, and I think it looks great. So quilting wise, maybe that's where if you're a long armor, then you can throw any design on. So this is Malachite by Urban Elements, but there's all sorts of designs out there. If you know it's going to a child who, maybe you pick something that they like. I mean, it would be fun to put dinosaurs on. So you can tailor the quilting to go with the fabrics you used, or to be towards that person. I just wanted this to be kind of nondescript, so this is a great design. And often, because this is a very plain quilt and I used very plain fabrics that basically read as solids, I went with a big pattern that's curvy because it kind of softens it a little bit. For the binding, what I did, so in an emergency, right, we're trying to get this done quickly. I made this quilt. It was cut, sewed together, on my long arm, quilted and bound, all in about 30 hours. I could have done it a lot faster if I had really needed to. So just know that this can go together really quickly. Binding wise, what I like to do is I put the binding on the back, so I sew it down on the back of the quilt, I flip it over, and I machine stitch it. You don't know how these quilts are going to be used, but I tend to find that when the simpler quilts actually get used, and so you want a binding that's going to hold up to a lot of washing. So don't take the time to hand bind it. This is a utilitarian quilt. Put the binding on with the machine. It's really easy to miter those corners. I have another video about that, but that's the quickest way to put on a binding. So if you would like to get this pattern, down below there is a link that will take you to a page where you can download it. And I just ask that you don't share it. If somebody else wants the pattern, have them come get it too, okay? That's just, then they knew who I am, and they might, down the road, they might want to get another one of my patterns, or they might need some help. So have them contact me on their own, please. So if this was helpful at all, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I try to put out content about quilting and about, piecing and about quilting. I am a long arm educator, and I love teaching people how to do that, but we have to have something to long arm, so we all have to piece too. So I'm glad you came. I'm glad you saw this, and I hope that it will help you maybe sometime in a time of trial, because quilters are such generous people. So I hope that my gift to you helps someone else. Pass it on, and have a great day.